Are we really close to a corona vaccine? Or what stocks are leading the charge? Come find out as we talk about what stocks are really moving towards a vaccine. The next story is all about coronavirus and still happens to be one of my favorite stocks within this space, Moderna. And this is why. Moderna has been ahead of the race for a coronavirus vaccine. This story says Moderna will begin late-stage coronavirus vaccine trial on July 27th. There's been something called Operation Warp Speed, where the government has given a little bit more leeway on the pharmaceutical companies to come up with a vaccine for coronavirus. This is cool that's saying, but next week, there could be a coronavirus vaccine trial. I think that's the fastest we've ever had any company or any group of companies try to provide a vaccine in this amount of time. But again, it's under the government-operated program called Operation Warp Speed to get a vaccine as quickly as possible. Now, I have my thoughts about that. The reason why it takes so long to put a drug out to market is because of the rigorous testing that has to be done. I'm thinking that, and again, this is just my opinion, that if you're going to rush the ability to create a vaccine because you want to get it taken care of is a little troublesome. But I'm going to still be on the side airing that, the government's still going to make sure that whatever protocols can be put into place in this short time period will be put into place. But that's big news. Excuse me. That's big news. Moderna will begin its late-stage trial testing of a potential vaccine to prevent COVID-19 on July 27, according to a published Tuesday in the clinicaltrials.gov. The trial will enroll 30,000 participants. And you know something? A lot of these participants are people who are volunteering, all right, across 87 locations, according to the website. So Moderna is rocking and rolling, and still a stock that I've liked from the beginning. I've made a lot of money personally on Moderna. I've gotten out of it and gotten back in and back and forth. But it continues to make the news. That's why it's a story that I pay attention to. Now, let's do this. Let's go back to the software. Let's go find MRNA. Notice that in my watch list of stocks, okay, when we put our watch list together, notice that in my watch list of stocks, Moderna has the highest VST, or value, safety, and timing vector. It's got the highest in the list. And a lot of that is because of the relative timing on the stock. It happens to be one of the fastest moving stocks in this list. Now, if we're going to analyze it real quick from the standpoint, we give a value to every stock. This is what we feel the stock is currently worth. Moderna is trading at $81. Its value is $5.21. The stock is clearly way over its value. But a lot of the news that's driving it is getting people involved in buying the stock. So people will pay a premium to own the stock compared to its value because of a lot of the news that is out there. People are feeling that Moderna may be the first stock or the first company that comes out with a vaccine. Everybody and their mama is jumping on board with it. Relative value. This is an indicator that looks at the stock's long-term price appreciation potential as compared to a AAA corporate bond. This stock does not have long-term upside potential. These indicators are cast on a scale between 0 and 2, where above 1 is favorable and below 1 is unfavorable. Relative safety is an indicator of risk. It looks at the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. Well, Moderna is not altogether a safe stock either. Now, the next indicator, RT, looks at the short-term price trend of the stock. It's at 1.92. This stock is not only moving, it's on fire. It is at the range of 2, which is the highest number it can go in this calculation. Moderna is a stock that's rocking and rolling. VST looks at the combination of relative value, relative safety, and relative timing in the one indicator. And as I mentioned, as a master indicator in the list, Moderna's got the best combination of value, safety, and timing. As a pharmaceutical, it only grows their earnings at a clip of 1% a year, and it's got negative earnings. That will fall into line with many of the stocks within this space. Excuse me. So, there's Moderna. Let's go take a look at the graph. Right click, let's go take a look at the graph. Over the last 3 months, Moderna's had some hits. All right. I loved it early in the coronavirus phase, running. It fell to a level of support sitting at 56.10, rode that, and now starting to rock and roll again. The 3 and the 8 cross, RT is rising on above average volume overall. Moderna still is a stock to keep in mind, but you only want to buy it on the day that it's rising, as it's rising. This yesterday, the stock took a big gap up, gave back a lot. The people who lost money on it were the people who bought it during the day yesterday. But if you were in it from the day before, you made a good little piece of change. And right now, it's trying to do a little bit of a rebound. But a lot of bearish pressure with the big wick at the top. Just be careful with it. But keep in mind, Moderna is a stock that's rocking and rolling and possibly leading the race towards a vaccine. Now, we also have a coronavirus watch list that we look at every week. Here in the coronavirus stocks, this watch list is comprised of about 45 stocks. 45 stocks in here. And what we can always do, and I know Tom is Badger in here?
No, I haven't seen him yet.
Okay, Tom, one of our subscribers, or maybe even Jay, what we do in the Jockey Club, which is our trading room here in VectorVest, we sort this list by percent price change. And we can see which pharmaceutical stocks that are racing to get a coronavirus cure or vaccine are moving for the day. We have found this as a beautiful way to make money as a trader in this market. All right, so notice that, where's mRNA? Not amongst the leaders. There it is. mRNA overall is up 1.73%, but there are other stocks in here that are up in excess of 12% for the day. So everyone who's a VectorVest subscriber has access to this watch list. I've created my own so that I can add more stocks to this watch list. But this is a great way, especially with what's going on in the market, to make money on a daily basis from a trade perspective. All right, Joey, do we have any questions?
Where can I get a hold of the list in VV7?
Where can you get a hold of the list in VV7? In the Viewers tab that we're in, go down to Special Watch Lists. Under Special Watch Lists, you'll see coronavirus stocks. Now, notice that this list has about 36 stocks. Yeah, 36 stocks. So what I've done is I've copied all of these stocks. I highlighted them all. I right-clicked, and I created a new watch list. And in that new watch list I named it, and that's in this watch list that I've created, I can add or take away stocks. Because this is a VectorVest watch list, I cannot delete any stocks from this or add any stocks to this because VectorVest maintains this watch list. So in the basic watch list within the software, there's 36 stocks. But if you highlight all of these stocks, put them into a new watch list, your own coronavirus watch list, as you come up with new stocks that are coronavirus related, you can add them. But everybody has access to the base coronavirus watch list. Any other questions, Joey?
When do the stocks get added to this list?
The question is, when do these stocks get added to the list? Only when I tell somebody in the Ohio office to add specific stocks to the list. This is a static list of 36 stocks.
Is it possible to forecast your freehand lines in the graphs?
The question is, can I forecast my lines in my... Say it again?
Is it possible to forecast your freehand lines in the graphs?
To forecast your freehand lines in the graph. The only thing that I can forecast from a graph perspective, let's put up the best stock in the whole wide world. The only thing I can do from a forecasting perspective is something called an extended line. And let's draw an extended line here on Apple. And what that means is that as the data continues to move on, this line will continue on its own. The person that asked the question, Joey, ask if that answers their question. That's the, huh? Uzma. That's the only line that will stay no matter what the stock's price does. So from a forecasting perspective, that's the closest that I can get to a forecast.
Oh, sorry, that was P. King.
All right, hopefully that...
Uzma wants to know how long we take mRNA stock for future.
If you're looking to buy into mRNA, how long do you take it? Use something like the 3 and the 8 exponential moving average. Use the moving averages as a way to get in and to get out. When the 3-8 cross, that's a good time to be in. When the 3-8 cross bearish, that's a good time to get out. You would have made money on that trade. When the stock is moving sideways, moving averages don't work nearly as well. But now the stock is starting to trend higher again. So as I look at the 3-8 crossed on 7-9, I would stay in mRNA until the 3-8 cross bearish. I'm going to be a technician on a lot of these pharmaceutical stocks.
Yeah.